It's too expensive. If you have been selling anything valuable, then you have probably heard this statement countless times as an objection from a client. My name is Dr. Emmanuel Amukun from Marvel's Dental Hospital, and in this video, we are going to address how exactly you should handle this kind of objection. So let's go. Let's face it, a client actually saying it's too expensive is probably one of the most discouraging objections from a client. Or it could even be annoying. After all, you have put your heart and soul into making sure that you provide a quality service or product at what you think is a reasonable price. Then the customer is like, nah, that's too expensive. That's too much. All that money. That's too high. Or in our case, they will say, all that for just one tooth. It can be a bit discouraging or annoying, isn't it? Well, it doesn't have to be. So what do you do or say in such a situation? First of all, don't feel offended, because the objection is not directed at you as a person. The customer usually has their own reasons and they do not have to justify them. When a customer says it is too expensive, they normally don't mean that they don't have the money to afford it, even though that is also one of the reasons they say that. But the number one reason a client will say that something is too expensive is because they are thinking that the value of what you are trying to sell to them is not equal to the amount you are asking for. In other words, you are asking for more than the value you are giving them. The other reason is that they could be saying that there is somebody who has a similar product and they are selling at a lower price. Whether that is true or not, you know, customers also tend to lie. Or they could also be saying that I see the value, but I'm not willing to pay the amount you're asking for. The other thing they could be saying is that I see the value, I'm willing to pay the amount you're asking for, but I don't have the money right now, or I don't have all the money right now. So how do you defend your price? Defending your price depends on the exact reason the client is objecting. Well, for the first one, about the value, make sure that the client sees value. Don't talk price anymore. Talk value. Let the client know exactly what they stand to benefit by buying and what they stand to lose if they don't buy. For example, if you are selling shoes to a bride-to-be for her wedding and you have offered her the best shoe for that function and they say, no, this is too expensive, you could ask them something like, how much money would you attach to the peace of mind you are going to have knowing that you are going to walk down that aisle without having any chance of the sole of your shoe breaking off and you stumble and you fall? Because if you take a cheaper option, that might actually happen. The point is this: you know the exact value that you are providing to the client, but the client in most cases is not seeing it. Your duty is to make sure that the client sees. Once the client can see that value, then they are more likely to buy at that price. But never ever try to argue with the client, because even if you argue and win, you will still lose the client. Even if they buy, they may buy once and you will never see them again. If they seem to agree that yes, the value is there and the amount is the right amount, but I somehow don't feel like paying that amount, well, it is your responsibility to explain to them why they should pay that amount. Because I'm sure you have your reasons. Let the client know and they are likely to buy. But if you have this other kind of customer who is seeing the value, he's willing to pay the amount, but they are not having the money at the moment, then this one basically needs a payment plan. Offer them a payment plan and then you will have the sale. Finally, if you have a client who seems to agree, is willing to buy, but is hesitating, then you might want to use these magic words from the point of empathy, not just because you have memorized them and then you just say them out. Well, you could say something like this: I understand how you feel. In fact, most of our clients also felt the same way before they purchased. But after that, I found out that they are very happy with their purchase and they have even ended up referring a lot of their friends to buy from us. I'm quite confident that the same thing is going to happen to you. And you better make sure that what you are saying is truthful. If you have found any value in this video, please make sure that you give it a thumbs up. And this video is about talking to a client that has already come to you. But if you want to know how to attract the clients in the first place, then you need to watch this video here, and I'll see you in the next one.